Hello once again. Now, before I start my reviewed feelings about Finland, I will leave a link to a video I made some years ago regarding my adoration and love of Finland and its people. I flew there many times and eventually drove there from England to live there for as long as it would take to take everything in, because it was so massive and such a culture shock to me. I love the people and its culture. And while I was there, I talked to many people and got the impression that things had changed there dramatically since the beginning of the joining of the European community, and also the currency change from the marker to the euro. And I got the feeling that people didn't enjoy it. It wasn't. It certainly wasn't for the better, in many people's opinions. Now, I love the place so much. I wanted a kesämökki, which is basically a summer cottage, to renovate so that I could visit at least 3 months of the year. And incidentally, I still do. I found Finland innovative. That's a word to say when you're drunk, and I'm not drunk. Innovative, vibrant, and responsible for many inventions that most Finns will know what I mean by this. Nokia not only did phones, they did tyres and Wellington boots. Linux, computer-free operating system that not even to this day many people don't know about, but it's used worldwide. SMS texting, the internet browser, the heart rate monitor, the Molotov cocktail, ice skates, the sauna, Angry Birds, xylitol, which is a sugar alternative, the safety reflector for pedestrians, rescue toboggans, Fiskar scissors, Savonius wind turbines, and the electric solar wind sail. And the most famous of all is probably, no one knows about this in England, the dish draining closet. And I'm sure there are many more inventions that I haven't mentioned. Sadly, many have disappeared and have been outsourced to other countries. Shameful, absolutely shameful. However, in my view of events over the past three or 4 years, things have changed dramatically, and not for the better. And the whole world was taken over by extreme paranoia, instigated by mass hysteria. And Finland fell for it, hook, line and sinker, just as many as other law-abiding citizens in other countries did, by relying on their leaders' integrity regarding medical advice, which, retrospectively, wasn't as good as it should have been. And now many are calling for an investigation into global medical anomalies. My opinion of what happened is very mixed feelings. And when I was in Finland, I was always very, very critical of Finland's love affair with America, and I could never understand its fascination with it. I argued with Finnish people that Finland had its own identity and a fantastic culture. Why the hell would you swap that for Fantasy Island? I've always maintained my opinion that America will eventually break Finland's heart, and that appears to be happening right now as I speak. America will not be the unipolar force it has been in the past. Times, they certainly are changing, and the multipolar world is happening right now. And thank God for that. Let me just say, I have no problem with American people, but the administrations are dire on both sides. Democrats and Republicans. They need a change just like every other country in the world. Now, I was quite pleased when Sanna Marin was voted, or she was elected to become the Prime Minister and the youngest one in the world. But unfortunately, she was used as a political chess when she was put in place as Prime Minister purely to instigate NATO membership. Then, when she did, the globalists' bidding was ditched. She was ditched unceremoniously, and today appears to have many personal problems, which is not surprising when you're being used like that. And the decision to join NATO was monumental and without a vote. And I'm pretty sure that many Finns didn't agree with the crazy idea formulated by the Five Eyes Alliance, globalist cabal, and in my humble opinion was a huge, huge mistake, especially when NATO has proven to be a blood-drenched terrorist organisation in the past that ceased to be a defensive organisation many, many years ago. But Finland and Sweden joined regardlessly of the evidence, purely to appease its hero of America. And this is big, but what needs to be faced is the fact that NATO certainly isn't what it was. And although the hyenas are still a massive pack all over the world, unfortunately for them, their teeth have been pulled out and they are rendered into lapdogs, nothing more. Now, Putin said in one of his speeches, and I quote, "In the past, when we looked to the West, we saw just Finns. Now, when we look to the West, we see an enemy." How tragic is that, considering how long you live next door to the bear, quite comfortably? And that statement of his is a very damning one, and can only be blamed on the globalist who wanted NATO intervention to poke the bear once again, and the continued extreme provocation. Back to Sanna Marin and her supporters. Not many people realise that people don't realise the significance evil of globalism, the WEF and the WHO. And I use the word evil to its full extent. Good and evil most certainly exist and have done so throughout human history and has been exposed many times. But we as humans never seem to learn the lessons that have been taught to us for thousands of years. All religions talk of the devil and his many disguises. Make no mistake, globalism is one of them. Just because we are in the 21st century doesn't make evil any less pernicious than it was during the Second World War and the Holocaust. And there are still some aspects of that evil with us today. Fascism certainly didn't die with World War II. Just remember the recent Canadian Parliament giving a standing ovation to an SS war criminal. How crazy! Where do these people come from? And I ask this question, how many globalists are in your government or in most other Western countries? The British government is full of them in both parties. And I suspect both other countries as well are in the same. They all want a totalitarian control over absolutely everyone. In Britain, just recently, the establishment has been rocked by a recent by-election, and hopefully we will see many changes. But having said that, the knives are out already and dirty, underhanded tricks are being planned, without a doubt. Our only hope is that good will win over evil, and those evils in disguise will be exposed very soon. Just be very aware of false prophets who will most certainly try to trick you into believing that the global cabal is friendly. It most certainly isn't. And I thank you very much for listening.